Hey everyone, this is Professor Chan for Math 1230. I want to go over a particular section, and that's about unit conversions. Now, this is in your textbook. I believe it is chapter 5. It's in your modules. But I want to kind of do a couple examples for you right here. Whoops, this is the wrong page. Let's go over, okay? Now, when you're doing unit conversions, okay, you want to show your work primarily, especially when the problems get a bit more complicated. So when I look at a problem like this, right, it says I convert 4 weeks to days, right? It's very easy for people to just kind of do everything in their head and just kind of work it out and just write the answer without showing any work. So what you want to do is you do want to kind of show your work, and that's what's going to help you for the following. Okay. Now, here it is a conversion chart. I'm going to upload this on Canvas. And so we have 4 weeks, convert 4 weeks to days. I know 1 week is equal to 7 days, okay? Now, instead of just doing like 4 times 7, right, what I'm going to do is I want to just label. So I have 4 weeks. And the idea is I want to convert this into days, okay? And so the idea is I'm going to multiply by a fraction. And this is going to be in regards to the following here. And this is, I'm going to write this as a fraction. So this right here becomes a ratio or fraction, okay? And so I'm going to write this here. I'm going to put 7 days over 1 week because, right, we know that 7 days equal to 1 week. And so the idea is they're essentially the same thing. Now I can write it 2 ways. I can write it like the following, where I can put 7 days over 1 week, or I can flip it and I can say 1 week over 7 days. Okay. Now, why do I choose this? Okay, because I want to convert into days. Okay, and when I'm multiplying this is a fraction. And remember, when I'm multiplying fractions, I can cancel diagonally. So not only do my numbers cancel if it's possible, but also my units will cancel diagonally. So I have weeks and weeks, and they cancel. So I'm left with days only. So I'll do 4 times 7, and that will be 28 days. Okay? Now, if I try the other way, if I flip the fraction around, it's not going to work. Right? So let's say if I did 4 weeks and I flipped it, now, why would this be wrong? Because I'm looking at my units, right? I have weeks times weeks. So this is really weeks square, right? Because something multiplied by itself is square, and I have over days. So I can clearly see, before I even do any math or any numbers, right? I can clearly see that my units does not come out right? Because I don't want weeks square over days, right? I just want days by itself. So clearly this one is not correct, okay? For the following. Okay, so let's take a look at this next part here. Okay, it says convert 20 kilometers to miles, okay? So there's 2 ways to kind of go about this. Okay, so notice I have 2 conversion charts, and both of them are actually okay. So I have 1 kilometer is equal to 0.62 miles. And I notice that also 1 mile is equivalent to 1.61 kilometers. Okay? And both of these are fine as long as I use my ratios in this conversion process right. So I can use either one of them as long as I have the correct unit cancellations. Okay? So I have 20 kilometers. I have 1 kilometer equals 0.62 miles. So always remember, you want to put the kilometer on the bottom because you want this one to cancel. And then you have 0.62 miles on top. And the reason why is because my kilometers will cancel. Okay. So I have 20 times 0.62. And I get 12.4 miles. Okay, so that works right there. Or if I wanted to, I can do 20 kilometers, and I can multiply it by using this relationship. 1 mile is equal to 1.61 kilometers. So I can say 1 mile over 1.61 kilometers. And we know this is okay because once again, my kilometers will cancel. And I have 20 miles, right? And I have over 1.61. I can divide that. And this is equal to 12.42, okay, miles. Now, it's slightly off, right, because they're rough approximations, okay? But as you can see, we're pretty close, so both of them actually work out. Okay, so let's take a look at this next one, okay? So this is why we want to actually label, right? I know some of you guys are probably thinking, like, why do I need to, like, label? I should just multiply everything. That's fine, okay? This is important because the next problem, right, and you'll run into problems like this where you have to do what's called multiple conversions, okay? So it says convert 15 miles to centimeters. And if I look at my unit chart right here, I realize, right, I don't have miles to centimeters, right? I do realize, though, really quickly, if I look at this, right, I notice I can go mile to feet, right, feet to mile, sorry, feet to inches, and then inches to centimeters, okay? So I know that miles go to feet, feet go to inches, inches go to centimeters, okay? And so I want to kind of construct that out. And the way you want to think about this, right, is you're like, okay, I have 15 miles. The idea is I want centimeters at the very end, okay? But I do know the following, right? I do know 1 mile, right, is equal to 5,280 feet. I know 1 foot is equal to 12 inches, and I know 1 inch is equal to approximately 2.54 centimeters. Okay? So, the way I want to think about this is I want to go from mile to feet, feet to inches, inches to centimeters. So I'm looking at what I start, and I want to look at what I end. Okay? And I want to think about kind of like the missing links in between. And this is going to be an important skill you want to kind of figure out. So if I convert 5 miles to centimeters, let's take a look at this right here. So 5 miles is going to be, I can say 1 mile. I'm going to put this in the very bottom. 1 mile is 5,280 feet. I'm going to multiply my, and so the idea is miles are gone, and now I'm left with feet. But the thing is, I don't want feet. I want to get rid of that. So I realize 1 foot is 12 inches. And so idea is, once again, the feet will cancel because it's diagonal. And then finally, I know that 1 inch is 2.54 centimeters. So I don't want to actually calculate, right? I'm looking at my units, and I want to see if everything kind of works out where I end up having the unit that I want after all the cancellation. And in this case, I notice there's only centimeters, which is good because that's what I want at the end. Okay, so I'm going to multiply all this out. Remember, you can just multiply the numbers on top. And remember, if you're dividing by 1, it's just essentially itself. So 5 times 5,280 times 12 times 2.54. And I get 804,672. Make sure you label centimeters, okay? For the following. You want to cancel your units so you actually know what unit you're on, okay? You don't want to just like arbitrarily multiply random things because sometimes you'll lose track, and that's something you want to avoid. Okay? Okay. Same thing, converting 4 weeks to seconds, okay? So I know, right, that 1 week is 7 days. I know 1 day is 24 hours. I know 1 hour is 60 minutes. And I know 1 minute is 60 seconds. So it's the same thing. I want to know where it ends and then where it starts and kind of what my links are in between. Okay? So I'll do 4 weeks. So the weeks will cancel, the days will cancel, hours will cancel, minutes will cancel. So I'll do 4 times 7 times 24 times 60 times 60. 2419200. And seconds. Make sure you write your unit at the very end. Okay. Now let's look at one last example. This is kind of a tricky one. Okay. Well, let's talk about this. So sometimes you'll see this. So it says convert 40 miles per hour, right? Or you probably have seen this before, miles per hour. When we say miles per hour, per means divide, okay? So the idea is 40 miles per hour is going to look like 40 miles over 1 hour, right? We're saying for every 1 hour that's happened, right, you drove 40 miles, okay? So per implies divide. So the idea is we're starting off like this. Okay? And the idea is at the very end, we want feet per minute, right? So the idea is we want feet over minutes at the very end, okay? So there's a couple of things I know, right? I know 1 mile is 5,280 feet. And then 1 hour is 60 minutes, okay? Now you just want to think about how to cancel this, right? So I realize I'm going to put a mile here, the 1 mile on the bottom, right? So the miles will cancel. I get 5,280 feet, okay? So I have feet on top, which is good. But now I just need to get rid of the hour. I realize 1 hour is 60 minutes. So I'm going to do the following. Now, the thing I have to be careful, right, is remember, I can rewrite this as 1 hour over 60 minutes and 60 minutes over 1 hour. Okay? And so since the first one's on the bottom, I'm going to put the 1 hour on top. And then 60 minutes here. So the hours will cancel diagonally. Okay? And I have feet over minute, which is good, which is what I want. Okay? So what I'm going to do, okay, you can do it all at once, but a better thing to do is just multiply all your numbers on the top and then multiply all the numbers on the bottom, right? So I have 40 times 5280. So I have 211200 and then over 60. So it's just a way to kind of slow down a little bit and we know it's feet over minute. And I'll divide it by 60, and I get 3,520, and you can write as feet per minute like this. Okay. Okay, so that's pretty much it. There's also probably a couple more. You probably want to read a textbook. But if you have questions, let me know. But other than that, I'll see you guys later.